this video, we are going to understand how to create a basic program in Rust and also understanding the cargo, which is a package manager of Rust, and how to install it and how to use the cargo in order to create packages in Rust. Here I am using the Visual Studio IDE in order to develop the Rust program. Hence, most of the developers were familiar with the Visual Studio Code. Here, this Visual Studio Code is an editor which is used for development of programs, and also it is an widely used across the industry. Please familiar with the Visual Studio Code. I hope you have previously checked my video, which is of installation of the Rust. If not, please check out the previous video in order to install the Rust in your operating system. In order to check the Rust whether has been installed on your operating system, please go to the terminal option and click on new terminal. Here we would get the terminal. Once you enter into the terminal, type rust C, which is the compiler of the Rust program. Type hyphen capital V. It could display the what is the current version of the Rust compiler and which is a nightly and 1.65, which is the version number. Then there is one more called Rust up hyphen version. So this is the Rust up, which is a tool chain manager. It's not a compiler. It's just an updates the Rust and updates the other dependencies which can be used. Now we have verified that Rust has been successfully installed in our operating system. So we could able to run the Rust program and also we could able to build the packages in the Rust. Let's clear the console. Currently I'm in the document folder. So here I'm going to install the I'm going to create one more directory which is called Rust example. So we have created a Rust example and we are going to redirect to the Rust example folder. So currently we are in this location, which is a Rust example location. Whenever we create or install the Rust into our operating system, we have a set of components which are also installed in line with the Rust compiler, Rust app, and Rust format analyzer. And there are a couple of tools which have been installed along with the Rust. There is a cargo pack component also installed along with the Rust. So let's see the cargo is also installed. Basically, cargo is a package manager. If you are familiar with other programming languages like in JavaScript or Python, you might have a package managers like npm and pip. Those are the package managers. Like this cargo is a package manager which could allows you to install the dependencies which are needed and also use it to run the program, and also it updates the existing program of the restaurant so that it could manages the program alongside of tracking the other dependencies which is going to be used by the program itself. We have a couple of options in cargo. In order to see those options, please type cargo and press enter. We would see the list of cargo will provide those options. So we have already used which version, like we can able to type hyphen capital V so that it could makes the print the version of the cargo. And there are a couple of options out there. Let's go one by one, and whatever we needed, we could able to use those commands. So in our program, we have cargo init and cargo new, and we'll give the folder name. So this cargo init is the one of the command which is used for creating an existing directory. Like it could usually creates the package and initiates the cargo package in Rust, and also it could binds with the GitLab. Like if you have any repository of the Git, it could initially made a setup to the Git credentials. Now we are going to create our first program using Cargo. So Cargo new first program. Once we hit enter, we could able to observe the changes. So it's created a binary file. So it hasn't moved to any folder. So let's type. We have one more folder which is called first program in our Rust example. We'll move to that folder. It's clear. CD first program. Press enter. So currently we are in first program folder. So let's open using the in VS Code also. Let's redirect to the document structure and examples and first program. So once we run the cargo new folder, like it could usually this VS Code usually asks you the permission. You could trust this the author. Then in this structure, we could observe three conditions. Like one is the folders which are created using the cargo, which is a source folder, and also it has a main.rs file and the .ignore file and the cargo.toml file, which is Tom obvious file. So we'll go through all those zip files and one by one, and let us understand how the cargo is used to create a packages and libraries in upcoming REST programs. And also we could observe one more thing. I have already integrated with the Git one. I could able to see this master branch. Like once we hit on this the command, which is cargo new, it's by default it will create a new Git repository along with the whatever the credentials which have been holding on the your system. Let's go to the tom cargo.toml file, which is the Tom's obvious minimal language file, which is used for the configurations only. Like here in this file, we could see that this is the package, and the package name is the first program. As we have typed the cargo new, and it could have the version number which is 1.0.0, and the edition which is the current, which is the year. Like you can place it whatever the edition you need, and the dependencies. This is where after we can able to install our dependencies. Like once the tom file is updated, all the dependencies with respect to this package will be downloaded by the cargo package manager itself. Cargo package manager helps in portability, like which could we can transfer into library or any packages. We could able to run this same file without any disturbance in creating and build package on any other system. Let's how to remove the initial setup of the git synchronization. Like when we enter the cargo new, we can specify the options like hyphen hyphen vcs none. By default it is enabled, so if we give this hyphen hyphen vcs none, it doesn't initiate the branch in the git repository. Let's come to the another file, which is .ignore file. As we have already known that .ignore file is used to ignore whatever the documentaries which are present in this file will not be pushed to the git. So this is how and why it's a git ignore um, is, is updated according to the package.
and this is the main dot, which is the source folder, and under the source folder we have main.rs file. This is the basic program which has been provided by the cargo new itself. Function and main, which is the entry point in order to execute our rest program, and print ln, this is an exclamatory mark, which is a macro. So this print ln is a standard output. It will print the hello world onto the terminal. So let's modify with hello world with rust. Let's will print the hello rust. So this is the target file. This could usually generate once we build the program. So as we have VS Code is an advanced IDE, it could interpret this is an Rust program and it's automatically builds an target file. So there is one more command, which is cargo build. Once we hit on cargo build, it could usually create the target file and whatever the file which is optimized. So we have already have the cargo file, so we could able to see the debuggers and all the respective files which would be generated. So this is the cargo.log file. There is a small change which has been mentioned, like if it is an library, we need to go for the cargo.log. So like this could be cannot be edited by manually, it could be automatically generated by the cargo itself. But the tom.toml file of the cargo can be editable, and we could able to add as much dependencies we can modify those dependencies also. Cargo.build usually creates a debug file. Like if we have the final release file, so we can specify release. When we press enter, we could see a one more folder which could appear under the target folder, which is called the release file. Here we could get the program.exe file. This is the file which we are going to run by manually also, so that it could run our program. There are two ways. One, we can move to cd target, then dot slash first program, first program. Let's once again we will build our project, and we will create one more release folder, and let's see we can compare both the changes. In order to create a build folder, we need to type cargo build. In the folder structure, we could observe the build, the target. Under the target folder, we will have the debug file, which is the development file, in order to run our program. So in order to run our program, we need to navigate to the target. We can run using this type also, like target slash debug slash first program. Once we hit enter, we could able to run the main.rs file. See, we have successfully run the file using the manually running the exe file. How we can run using the cargo package manager. So cargo run, we could see the result. It would build and automatically it will run this file, target debug program.exe file. The same thing we have previously done manually, run the exe file. This is how the two ways we can run our main.rs file. Let's create release file. Build hyphen hyphen release. We could able to see one more folder, which is release folder, which is used for the production environment. This folder contains the most optimized file, and this file is usually much faster than the development. The compiler will optimize the code so that the code which runs in the debug mode is slower than the production mode. Let's get the difference between these two folders. One, in both folders we could able to see the cargo hyphen log. This file is just an like whatever the tom file, we can just compares both the files. The toml file, we have the dependencies like 0, the time which is there, and this dependencies we can able to observe in this file. This is the dependence folder. It could contains all the dependencies which has been provided to this package. Let's compare the cargo.log file and cargo.toml file. Here this is the side by side comparison. The TOML file, which is less, gives less specification than the .log file. It is completely created by the cargo package manager, while TOML file is created manually. Like we could able to edit this TOML file. TOML file is about describing your dependencies in a broad sense, and it is written by ourselves, whereas cargo.log file contains exact information about your dependencies. Like it is maintained by the cargo and it couldn't be manually can't be edited. Like here we could see that the same time dependency is there, but what is the version, what is the registry package, and what is the checksum. Sometimes if the time whatever the time dependency is updated, even though it has multiple commits later on future time, so this would track the this .log file is tracks the checksum value, like with the proper commit, so it could exactly get whatever the functionalities which is there at that time by using the checksum value, and it could takes the more information other than the TOML file. If you are building an end product, like we can ignore this cargo.log file. If we are building any static library, then it should has to be this cargo.log file has to be included in the git repository. The reason, because like even though in a product we can might update the dependencies, but whereas in library there could be intermediate dependencies, so it gives a .log file is an always a static file, we could say. Like we do not manually keep track of exact version, whereas cargo will do it for us. Like then it could usually create a cargo.log file. It could automatically create whatever the checksum values and all the sources thing. So it uniquely identifies the package at the particular time and with the particular exact commit rather than saying. If you want to clear the target file, cargo provides one more command, which is cargo clean. Once we enter this command, we could see all the target file would be deleted. So when we update this part, if we remove, as we don't needed this dependency, remove and build the cargo file again, target file, using the cargo space build, it could again create a target file which has no dependencies, which has no dependencies other than our program. This is how we can use the cargo clean in order to clear the whatever the dependencies we don't need it as of right now. Hope you have understood well, like how the use cases of running the file of RS file, which is a REST file, using cargo package manager in different ways. We have understood what is cargo run, cargo build hyphen release, cargo clean, and cargo init and cargo new in order to create a new package manager. Let's try how to add the crates into our package. In order to add the dependencies, in order to utilize any new other crates which has been provided by the Rust community, we need to navigate to the crates.io. So this is the crates.io, which is the Rust community crate registry. Here we could find bunch of crates, like as these are libraries which provides an external functionality which we needed to run or enhance our work. Currently there are 93,000 crates are in stock. Like most of important crates are listed here, and a few of the crates can be included into the rest in future, like if there are very necessary to have those crates. We could find most popular and the recently created crates also, like by searching in this here, we can able to get whatever the crate we needed. Like once, this is a rand which creates a random number generator. So this functionality we can import by using this crate. We can click on crate, and in order to install, we can just copy this rand with the particular version and go to your tvml file. Under the dependencies, we could able to add our dependency list. We can add multiple dependencies below one by one. Once the dependencies are added, we could simply run cargo build, so we could able to see the builds and the dependencies. If not, we can just clear the cargo clean and run the cargo build, so that we will get a new target file which has all the new dependencies in it. Now we could able to see whatever the files which needed by the rand crate. Now we are going to use the random function. So once it is imported into our dependencies, we can call with use rand colon prelude. Here we can see automatically the VS Code gives some suggestions. We can use this way, colon star. This could automatically adds all of the functions. Add the semicolon at the end. So we have imported all the rand provided function with asterisk. So this is a number which is a random number. Hence we can save the file and cargo run, which could automatically run the file. Here you can see it could checks all the random core functions, and which can give the a random integer. So we check once again. Now we can see as the first time it is compiled, later on it won't compile, it's just the run the command. In this video you have learned how to use cargo with multiple options, and how to import dependencies or a crate from the crate.io into your package, and how to run that package. Hope you have learned something great. Let's see you in the next Rust video.